Economics for Everyone, Micro and Macro by Stanley Thuku Waithaka. The price theory. Under this topic, we are going to look at demand and the factors affecting demand. Demand in economics means the quantities of goods and services that a potential buyer is willing and able to buy. That is, the ability and willingness to buy. The buyer, therefore, must have the purchasing power, i.e., the buyer must have the money to buy the product. The keywords are willing and able to buy. It's important to note that demand is not the same as want. Demand is affected by a number of factors. One of these factors, and a very important factor, is the price of the good or service. The lower the price, the larger the quantity demanded, and vice versa, ceteris paribus. This is a Latin phrase, meaning other factors being held constant. This is because demand is not only affected by one factor, there are other factors, and what we are saying, we are only changing the price, or the other factors remain unchanged. The relationship between quantity and price of the good is very important, and it is therefore regarded as the law of demand. This is because it is this factor that determines the slope of the demand curve. The demand curve slopes downwards from left to right. For example, if we look at the demand for tomatoes, according to this schedule, we can see that when the price is 2, the quantity demanded is 6. We are assuming that somebody has got 12 pula, that is Botswana currency, and wants to use the 12 pula to buy tomatoes. So when the price is 2, the person will be able to buy 6 kilograms of tomatoes. When the price increases to 3, the person will only be able to buy 4 kilograms of tomatoes. So the quantity demanded falls. When the price goes up further to 4 pula per kg, the person will only be able to buy 3 kilograms of tomatoes. Therefore, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded, and vice versa, ceteris paribus. As we have said, this law is very important because it determines the slope of the demand curve. And as we can see on the curve, which has been plotted out of the data that is in the schedule, at point A, when the price is 2, the quantity demanded is 6. Point B, the price is 3, and the quantity demanded is 4, and point C is where the price is 4, and so when these points are joined, we get the demand curve, and as we can see, it is sloping downwards from left to right. The other factor affecting demand is the incomes of the consumer. And here what we say, the higher the price, the higher the income of the consumer, the higher the purchasing power, and hence the higher the demand. Again, ceteris paribus. When we are explaining these factors of production, we must always mention ceteris paribus. This phrase is universally accepted, and if you can't remember it, you can always say other factors remaining the same or being held constant. The other factor affecting demand is the taste or preference of the consumer. And under this factor, we note that the more one has a like for a certain product, the more he or she will buy, and vice versa, ceteris paribus. The tastes of individuals can be affected by a number of factors, e.g. fashion, advertising, friends, doctors' instructions are also included in the tastes, government's influence, etc. So the more one likes something, the more one will buy, and vice versa, ceteris paribus. The other factor affecting demand is the size of the household. A household is a group of people living together, e.g. a family or friends living together. If a household has more members, then they'll buy more of the product, and vice versa, ceteris paribus. The other factor affecting demand is the price of related products. Price of related products. And what we note here is that there are two types of relationships. One of these relationships is the complementary relationship. This is where goods are used together or jointly, e.g. bread and butter, cell phones and SIM cards, etc. If you buy more of one, in almost all cases, you must buy the other. So if the demand for bread goes up, we expect the demand for butter to go up. This does not mean that one cannot eat bread without butter. No. But what we are saying, in most cases, there will be an increase in butter. Even if some people stop buying butter, the number is expected to generally go up than previously when the price, when the quantity demanded of bread goes up. That is, the price of bread will affect the demand for butter. If the price of bread goes up, the demand for butter will go down. This is because the increase in the price of bread reduces the quantity demanded of bread, and therefore this will reduce the quantity, the demand for butter, and vice versa, ceteris paribus. Note that when we are explaining any of these factors, we mention the word ceteris paribus. What is affecting the demand for butter is not the price of butter, but the price of bread, which is related to butter. And this type of relationship is the one we are calling complementary relationship. The other type of relationship is the one that we call substitutes relationship. This is where consumption of one good affects the consumption of the other. These goods this is where we have two goods which give the same satisfaction or almost the same satisfaction. For example, Coke and Pepsi. The price of one will affect the demand for the other. For example, if the price of Coke goes up, more people will go for the substitute product, which is Pepsi, and therefore the demand for Pepsi will go up. And vice versa, ceteris paribus. If the price of Coke goes down, it means more people will go for Coke, and therefore the demand for Pepsi will go down. Ceteris paribus. This relationship is one that we call a substitutes relationship. Substitutes relationship. And where we have substitutes relationship, it is important to note that if the price goes in a certain direction, let's say the price of Coke goes up, the demand for Pepsi goes up. That means both are going up. The price of Pepsi going up causes the demand for Coke to go up, and vice versa, ceteris paribus. And the opposite will happen. If the price of Coke goes down, the demand for Pepsi will also go down. That means they move in the same direction. This type of relationship is called a positive relationship. It is a positive relationship. While in case of complementary goods, the relationship is a negative one. They go in opposite direction. For example, when the price of bread goes up, the demand for butter goes down. They go in the opposite direction. When the price of bread goes down, the demand for butter goes up. That means the relationship is negative. When one goes up, the other one goes down. Ceteris paribus. There are exceptions to the above factors of demand. This is where the consumer's demand is different from what has been explained above. These goods are classified under the following headings. Giffen goods. Giffen goods. These are goods whose consumption will not change even if the price of the good changes. The quantity demanded for such products, such as food and most necessities, will not be affected by the price. They are called Giffen goods after the person who discovered them, Professor Giffen. The other classification are the snob goods. These are goods that are more attractive at high prices than low prices. Consumers get pride in such goods because they put them in a certain exclusive class. A fall in the price of such goods makes them less attractive, e.g. Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and some jewelry. The last classification is the inferior goods or abnormal goods. These are goods whose demand will fall when the incomes of the consumers go up. Ceteris paribus. Examples of such goods are second-hand products, such as second-hand clothes, some traditional beer, such as Chibuku in Botswana and Munatina in Kenya. Their demand will fall when people have got more money. When people have got more money, they shift to other drinks and not these ones. When they have less money, that's when they buy these drinks. So they are inferior goods. So these three types of goods are exceptions to the factors affecting demand: given goods, snob goods, and inferior or abnormal goods. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to click on the like and the subscribe button below. The book is on special at Amazon.com for only $1.99. Feel free to give your comment and keep tuned for the next video.